So, World of T-Shirts, Josh Block is now apparently no longer streaming with Mr. Bass, but will be streaming with Jack Doherty. I don't know how that happened. I know Mr. Bass made a TikTok videos about what's happening after Josh Block, where he went back to sun gazing, which is interesting. I didn't know sun gazing was a thing that people still did because it's like really dangerous. But World of T-Shirts doing this is like really dangerous, I think, for him. So over the last 48 hours, 72 hours now, he's been in Atlanta, LA, and Miami. And he's been drunk in all of those places, and he's been in with Jack in LA and Miami. Jack apparently lost a $300,000 chain in a robbery, which is unfortunate. But I genuinely don't know why he's doing this, or how he's going to have a place to stay. Is he staying with Jack in his mansions? Is he staying in hotels? Is Mayor Flanagan or Michael Quinn paying for these things? Is Jack paying for these things? Does he make 400? Does he really make 400 grand a year? I do know that some of the more recent clips I've seen have actually been party.com/Joshua Block. So that's fascinating. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But there's some clips I saw from last night that I want to talk about.
They said ask you about your constipation. I think you already told that story, didn't you?
That one incident, yeah, I scooped up the poop. Because if I flushed it, it was gonna back up.
Oh, that's why you scooped it?
Yeah, I put it in a bag and I chucked it out the window.
Oh, well, it must have been huge. If you thought it was gonna not flush it.
It was. Like, cause I couldn't go for like a week.
Yeah. I think it's best if chat keeps giving me questions. Cause that's
I drank, like that drink, magnesium citrate. It's a really strong laxative.
Right.
It's what people use when they're prepping for colonoscopies.
Oh, really?
It makes you shit your brains out.
Right? Did you graduate college or no? Did you go to college?
Now, something I want everybody to understand is that everybody touches their own poop, or at least you should when you wipe. But what's not good is taking it up out of the toilet and throwing it out the window. That's something that happened in medieval Paris, medieval London, and led to a lot of sickness. And I don't know if he learned that was a thing that happened and decided, oh, this is the best decision I can make right now. I'm going to go ahead and just, instead of clogging my toilet, throw my poop out the window. But that's what happened, and I don't understand why he did that. Now, constipation can cause you to have large stools. That's something that I've actually dealt with, where I've been constipated. I'll eat fiber, drink some water, it'll bulk up, and it'll get really big. And sometimes you'll have to do a courtesy flush in the middle of it. You don't dig your hand into the toilet and throw your poop out the window. That's just not a thing that you do.
Why do I have to be poor? 400 grand a year is not enough. Where's my 20 million a year?
I would genuinely also like $20 million a year, but the problem is that, 400 grand a year is not poor. If you live a lifestyle that's just house, car, bills paid, maybe 2 or 3 vacations a year, and just do your job and have everything, on $400K a year, you can probably put away at least 50, 60K in savings or stocks after taxes and everything. Now, yes, I understand Josh is a sole proprietor and he does have to pay the extra Social Security and Medicare tax that comes with that. But that's not a lot of money. It's like 18 cents per dollar total. And normal citizens who are on the payroll only pay about 12 cents per dollar, 11 cents per dollar. So it's only an extra 8 cents per dollar. And there's deductions and everything that he can take from his income and everything, so that way he can actually be like, oh yeah, I make 400 grand a year, but I only get taxed on 172 grand. If he live streams, if he makes videos on a vacation, he should be able to write that off as a expense. Honestly, I make videos at school. I can't write down that the expenses of my phone, or I can write that down as an expense. I can't write off tuition as an expense. That would be fraud. But Josh should have an accountant helping him with these things. He's owed taxes the last couple of years, had to end up on a payment plan because he's not doing his quarterlies. When you're a creator or a sole proprietor or anything, every year you have to send every quarter a estimated tax payment. So if you make $10,000 and you would owe, let's just say $1,800, you send an $1,800 check to the IRS or an $1,800 debit card payment to the IRS. Then they keep it there. Then you do your taxes at the end of the year, and if you owe, you owe. If you get a refund, you get a refund, just like a regular citizen. Uber drivers, DoorDash drivers, Lyft drivers, and servers have to do this too, and it's not fun. But $400,000 a year is a lot of money. Like I've never made $400,000 a year. I've never made more than $35,000 a year. Hopefully that changes next year. It probably won't change this year with it already being almost half over, just due to me being in college and everything. Being in college and everything, in grad school right now. But if I can make $80,000 in a year, that would be epic. I would be happy on $80,000 a year. I don't need $20 million. I mean, I'd love to have $100,000 a year, but I'd be happy on 80.
I'm not employed! I'm not employed!
Josh, stop. Josh, stop. Josh, stop. Josh, stop. Yo, Josh, you want the fries?
I'm employing you!
Josh. Come on. Josh, come on.
Help!
Don't say
Get
that.
me a lawyer! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh, I gotta leave America.
Bye, buddy. Nice to meet you. Hopefully I see you again. Just take
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Just take some deep breaths like this.
It's all right, Josh.
Water?
I only make $400,000 a year. I'm so poor. Santos is guilty by association.
Oh, fuck, Josh.
You're a
Hey, you can't say that. Josh, stop. Josh, you're in the middle of the street. Stop. Come on. Josh, come on. Go across the street. Go across the
fuck
street.
you! How'd you find me again?
Josh, come on. There's a car coming.
How'd you find me again?
You're gonna lose your voice, Josh.
I'm gonna cut out my vocal cord so I can never talk again.
Chill, Josh. You all right?
These freaking hands. It's all your fault. Ah!
Josh.
I'm not unemployed! And I make more money than you! Ah! Ah!
Josh, wrong way, Josh.
I gotta get out of here!
Josh, this way.
This damn country! I want to go home to Italy!
Yeah, let's. Relax. Here. Josh, relax.
Put some water on your neck.
Josh,
Put water
relax.
on
You
your
have
neck.
your
No,
things.
no.
Water on your neck. Water on your neck.
Call 911, I'm having a seizure.
Josh, you're not though.
I'm having a seizure. Call 911.
Josh, you're not.
Just kidding, I faked it again.
So there's a couple of things I find incredibly interesting in there. So we know Josh has autism, and he does the thing where he injures or he smacks his hand. That could be a form of self-injurious behavior, which is a thing that autistic people often will do when in the middle of a meltdown. They'll often do that just because it can help regulate them. It is a behavior that is dangerous for autistic people and often does need to be helped through intense therapy. It's something that a lot of autistic people deal with, and Josh clearly is dealing with that here. But then he goes and fakes a seizure. And, like, I always assume if somebody's acting like they're having a seizure, that they're having a seizure. So if I were in the area and I had seen that, my first response would be to call 911. But Josh says he faked it through that. And because of that, if I were to have called 911, I would not have been held legally responsible for waste of 911's resources because I had a reasonable belief that someone was suffering a medical emergency. If Jack or Santos or any of the people with him had called 911 and knew that that was how he faked seizures after the video he showed the other day of faking seizures, they could have been held legally responsible. I would, however, have felt bad if that had happened and I had been the one to call 911 due to being like, well, now somebody who really needed 911 can't go, which is really unfortunate. Another thing that happens in here is he gets told to put the fries in the bag by somebody in the Tesla, screams at them, spits at them, and basically is like, how did you find me? That makes me think he thinks that it's one person telling him to put the fries in the bag, which doesn't make any sense at all. Like at all, because we've seen clearly plenty of videos of somebody telling him to put the fries in the bag. Men, women, I think actually even some random people all throughout the country. I think Douglas Skates did it. Lots of people tell Josh to put the fries in the bag, which I don't think that telling Josh to put the fries in the bag is something that you should do because you're bullying an autistic person with a person with a disability to a point where they're having what can only be described as a meltdown and a crash out. And this crash out puts them and others in danger, including yourself, honestly. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know. Sure, we can be reasonably assured that Josh doesn't have rabies, but he might. We can be reasonably assured that Josh doesn't have any STDs, but he might. And if he bites you, the logical next step would be for you to get tested for things. And you can't test for rabies without killing the subject. So you would just go and get like a rabies vaccine, or rabies post-exposure vaccine, and an STD test and everything. What I have noticed is that a lot of the time, the police don't come and arrest Josh after he bites people or anything. So that tells me that these people want the content, which is not good. Like, if I were walking through New York City and I saw... I'll be in New York City, by the way, in July. If I were walking through New York City and I saw Josh, my first reaction would probably just be to cross the street to avoid any situations he would be involved in. But if he came up and talked to me, I would be like, oh, hello, hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't tell him to put the fries in the bag. I wouldn't call him broke. I wouldn't call him unemployed because I know how he's going to react. And I don't want that reaction to happen. It's like if you have a herding dog and the whole family's over and the family decides that they're all going to be in different areas. With a herding dog, you know what that dog's going to do? That dog's going to decide where everybody needs to be, which is where the family normally is. So if it's the living room, the dog's going to decide everybody needs to be there, and the dog's going to go get everyone. You know how that's going to go. You know how Josh is going to react if you tell him to put the fries in the bag, tell him he's poor, tell him he's unemployed, all of those things. And when it was TTS, it was bad, but you can argue sometimes that when it's TTS, it's one, a financial transaction, and two, it's partially consensual, whereas Josh and Based would have put the TTS on there knowing what would have happened. But with Josh being an alcoholic and severely disabled and being taken advantage of by Based, you can't really argue that it's consensual at all. So it's wrong in that way as well. And it's a very flimsy argument to begin with, but some people would make that argument. Like, for example, Boogie2988. Everything that he's been going through over the last year after the faking cancer thing, all the humiliation and everything, that's pretty consensual, which is not great. I don't like it. but like he knows what he signed up for and everything. And that's great. But Josh doesn't know what he signed up for. Josh signed a party deal for $400K apparently. I don't think he knows what he needs to do for it. I think Josh needs help. I think Josh needs intense therapy. Josh might benefit from rehab. Josh might benefit from a job coach. I think Josh could actually be a very successful social media creator and influencer if he stopped drinking and went back to doing like coffee and boba reviews. He used to have a really good singing voice before the alcohol ruined it. I could see him being a really good cover musician, being in a cover band. I think that would be really cool. Lots of different things would happen with that. And I'm excited to see how things can happen with that. But I'm not excited to see how it's going. And Jack Doherty is probably worse for Josh than Based and Quinn and Flanagan. At least Flanagan's just sort of out of the way and just sort of like takes care of financial things. I wonder if Flanagan's been the one funding all these trips. I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that. But I do know that I was hoping when Josh got deported from Dubai, I was hoping the drinking would stop or at least slow down, but it seems to have gotten worse. And unfortunately, he made Jack Doherty look like a really good guy in a very awful way when he threw up at the Airbnb, and then Jack basically was like, give me the drink, give me the drink, give me the drink, and then Josh refused to. And Josh made Jack look like a really good guy, and Jack was doing something really good in that case.